We got Scott from New York City. Well, it doesn't say New York City, it just says New York. Good day. Maybe he's from Australia.
It could be.
Good day, and thanks for the podcast. All right, my question is, do you still advise contributing to a company 401k or 457, even if the company does not provide you any matching funds? Since I work for a state agency, there is no matching. However, I have a pension that I contribute to, which amounts to about 5% of my income each year. Would you suggest contributing to some funds to the 401 or 457 or some funds to an IRA or some combination? I like the tax deductibility, but I would also like the free money. But seems you can't have both working for the state. Thanks for your time. All right. So he's asking, he's got a 401k 457 plan through the state of the good state of New York. They're not matching any funds, but he will have a state pension that he's contributing into.
Correct.
So I would say absolutely. You want to take advantage of all savings plans that you have available to you because even if they don't match, I mean, a lot of companies don't match.
Yeah, and a lot of companies don't even have plans at all. Right, so I would agree with you, Joe. I think and furthermore, like a lot of 401k plans have Roth options, and even so think of this alternative: either not contributing at all, or contributing to a Roth. It's the same tax consequence, but now you got a whole bunch of money in a Roth IRA, a Roth 401k that will be tax-free in the future. So that seems like a no-brainer. It depends upon your tax bracket and a whole bunch of things. It depends how much you've already saved and things of that sort. But just a general answer is yes, take advantage of the savings vehicles that you have as long as you can afford them.
Yeah, out of sight, out of mind is really good. There's so many different statistics out there is that for individuals that do have a 401k, 457, 403b, any type of employer-sponsored plan, as they approach retirement, they have much more in regards to wealth and liquid assets than someone that didn't necessarily have it, even though that they had the same income or same salary.
Yeah, and that happens because of the fact that out of sight, out of mind, and a lot of us, most of us, maybe not all, but most of us, we kind of get to whatever our paycheck is. It's like we kind of know that's in our checking account, and we figure out ways to spend it. Maybe we save some, but it's hard to be super disciplined, and as you get raises, you tend to spend a little bit more. If you can autopilot that and have money go to the 401k, or in this case, the 457 or both, then out of sight, out of mind, and it's saved.
Yeah, I would look at a few things. I'm not familiar if the state of California, if the state of New York does have a Roth option in the 401k plan. That's something to look into, Scott. If they do, you probably want to beef up. I would say it depends on how many years to retirement. It sounds like there's probably a few years here because he's just kind of now investigating his retirement plans. But if he's going to have a pension, what we have found is that people that have a decent sized pension, they're not necessarily good savers, right? Because they're like, well, here, I have a really good pension, and then we find out that they just bank everything on the pension.
Right, because they feel like they don't have to save.
They don't have to save, or they think that was their savings.
Sure.
Right? Hey, I'm putting 5% into my pension. Well, are you still putting into Social Security? Sometimes when we see state plans, depending on the state, is that they don't put into Social Security. They only put into the state pension. And so then they'll get the state pension benefits, but they don't get Social Security. And then they're thinking, well, wait a minute, I thought I was going to get both.
Right.
And so you need to do a little bit more due diligence here, Scott. But if you have the excess capital or cash flow to do it, absolutely look into it. Do you want to do an IRA? Like Al said, yeah, Roth. Because if I have a larger pension, it'd be nice to supplement that income potentially with some tax-free income to go along with it. So even though you got no free money, there is no free lunch. Okay. Scott.
I got a quick question here.
Follow
Normally
up.
with the order of savings, we talk about pay off debt, then contribute to the company match, and then Roth IRA, and then go back to the 401k or whatever the company plan is. What would be the order of events if there is no match involved?
Well, it depends on what's his income. If there's no match involved, and if he has a Roth 401k option, then it depends on his taxable income.
Yep.
Because it's so much easier to put money into a 401k plan or a 457 plan versus to establish a Roth IRA through Fidelity, Vanguard, TD Ameritrade, Charles Schwab. And then if someone thinks of that, they're like, oh, I don't want to do that, whatever. Free, I'll do it next year, whatever. I would, in this case, maybe you go to the 401k first, see what the income is, and then if they're savvy enough, then open up the Roth.
Yeah, I agree with that. And here's why. It's because that when you try to open up a Roth IRA, let's say before April 15th of the following year, so this year, 2019, it's $6,000.
Right.
Then it's like to write a check for $6,000 is a lot more difficult than to have $100 or $200 withdrawn from each paycheck. You hardly miss it. You don't really see it.
Exactly.
And I think to piggyback, Joe, on one of your comments, I think a lot of people that we see that have pension plans, and they have good pension plans, and they have a lot of ordinary income that puts them in a higher tax bracket. Those folks that have been able to put money into a Roth IRA, whether it is a Roth IRA or a Roth 401k, are generally pretty happy because they have some tax diversification. It's those folks that don't have a pension plan where then they might want to have a little bit more balance, but those that have a larger pension plan, if they can favor the Roth, that's often a good strategy.
Right, because how tax brackets work is that you fill up certain brackets, with the income that you're deriving from your investment sources. If I already have a fairly large pension, that might already put me up into, let's say, the 22% tax bracket.
Right.
Where if I have a 401k plan, I could say, you know what, I'm only going to pull from the 401k plan to the top of the 12% tax bracket, but any additional income that I need, I'll just take from other sources, cash, my taxable account, or my Roth account. So there's more diversification there. But what we found is that, let's say if I'm a really good saver and I also have a large pension, right now you're stuck in a higher bracket, and then all your dollars that you saved were in these retirement accounts. It's going to be taxed at ordinary income rates. A lot of that money could be lost to tax unnecessarily.